found it. Now it's shared. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
I just wanna let y'all know it's raining outside. First day out, but I've been around since before inside was a thing. Understanding why the cave first sings. Power moves only got tools for you buffoons. Continental shifts as I move through the hurricane. I heard of pain. Made a vow, will never let that happen again. Only tears of joys coming out these days. Steady stacking his daily bread. Listen as I bellow, the young fellow was well fed. Had wealth way before I had possessions. Tacticians leave eviscerating through the opposition. Felt like Raven, no one else could see the vision. Got the block on lock just like the keys is missing. Really on a mission, told you that in the beginning. Face card impeccable, God steady winning, steady eating, getting great nutrition. Swimming through abundance, ain't no need for stressing. Rich as usual, ain't no need for blessing. Yeah. Said what a time, so divine, it's alright, yeah, it's alright. Said what a time, so divine, it's alright, yeah, it's alright. Effortlessly navigating through these planes. Once you do that, it can't go back to being the same. Sometimes I wonder why I gave it a chance, cause now you're trying to use it like a lance to step into the proverbial dance. Spin around the sun, trying to have a little fun. Smart, but I'm going dumb, counting up a lot of funds. Had to take it from the one, Shawty know she wanna come. I just went and ring a bell, then I beat it like a drum. Finally feel alive, can't go back to feeling numb. Steady bringing blessings to the city that I'm from. Can't even move without that 100-round drum. They reach, I teach, and then I leave them slump. From Lantana to Atlanta, steady making bangers. Took a look inside myself to find a real answer. Practice makes perfect, now I'm the master. So, going ghost, no Danny fans. What a time, so divine, it's alright, yeah, it's alright. Said what a time, so divine, it's alright, yeah, it's alright. Said what a time, so divine, it's alright, yeah, it's alright. Said what a time, so divine, it's alright, yeah, it's alright. Time, what a time, so divine, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright. Time, what a time, so divine, it's alright, yeah, it's alright.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to Sinners Sunday. We are live at the Black Achievement Funds Kemet Club. So happy to be with you here again on this Sunday evening. My name is Julie Gordon, and I will be the facilitator for our discussion this evening. Last week we talked about communities and belonging. And there is so much to discuss with that. I figured we'd keep that conversation going and just begin by identifying some of the communities that are represented in the film. So can anyone think of some of the communities that we saw in the film?
Of course, the slave community. We had the slave community, right?
The slave community.
Chippewa Indian.
Yes, the
Oh,
Choctaw.
yeah.
Choctaw, okay.
Yeah, the Choctaw community.
Oh, yeah. Choctaw.
And what were the vampires, the original ones?
Irish.
The Irish community.
Oh, yeah.
And we had people in the towns. They formed a community. We had the band,
Oh yeah, the musicians.
musicians from the community. We even saw where Smoke and Stack were coming home. So even though they were in Chicago, they left Chicago and came back to create community there in Mississippi.
Mm.
We saw Delta Slim with the Chain Gang. And of course, we had the Black Church. Black Church has community.
Oh yeah.
And, and we had the Ku Klux Klan community represented in the film as well. So we saw here that Ryan Coogler focused on the community by having various communities represented. And this was during the Great Depression era, so we know that the economy pretty much sucked. The South pretty much sucked. And what Smoke and Stack were doing was just trying to create a community of people to come together and just have a good time in the midst of what all was going on. Kind of like we do now with all the things that have happened in 2025, particularly with this new administration. We see a lot of our people dancing. It's one of the things I like to do is go to line dancing, and we see a lot of that continuing. And when people are marching there, say, where's the Black community? Well, we're having a good time because this kind of thing is not new to us. We have always been faced with crisis, and we represent a very resilient community and find ways to continue to live and have joy in the midst of all the things that are going on around us. So in Sinners, the movie, the community theme kind of focuses around that sense of strength and resilience in the Black community, even in the face of oppression. It highlights music and spirituality as powerful tools for unity. So if we're not dancing, then we're praising God, and oftentimes we're doing both together. We're praising God and dancing at the same time. And that's how we are able to praise God oftentimes through our music, as we heard in our intro with Brother Sonan, and giving honor and respect to God, even in the face of challenges that we may have. So we see these complex duality of community in this movie, when bonds are both strengthened by shared purpose, but they're also threatened by simulation. We have historical violence, and we have systemic racism. So as well as we have the dual nature of institutions like the church. We see church as good, and then we see church is not working for some. So we have a lot that's going on there in that movie. But one of the core themes, as I mentioned, is music. How powerful it is, and equally fundamental thing is what the music enables people to do. And we saw that with Sammy and what Remick wanted to do with the music. And one thing that we do with that music is we build a community, and we're able to get people together. And in this film, the whole idea is to get people together to know one another when they creating this juke joint, where you can come and just be with your people and have a good time. So Coogler shows a good example of what it means to be in community and how various communities operate. And one of the things I think is in here is talking about creating a community that's equal, a community is a place where the people are equal, people have equal voice, everybody is able to contribute and say something, be committed with whatever the goal is. And I think a lot about what we're doing here at the Black Achievement Fund to create community and how everyone is asked to participate and is encouraged to be present and be a part of the community to make it what it is so that we can have our own safe spaces to gather and to have fun in. And then we saw like the twins, how they can actually get together and form a community, but that being different than the way Remick was able to kind of get his community. And with the twins, Smoke and Stack, they're negotiating with people. Like, you know, it's a little give, it's a little take.
You mind saying who Remick is?
Yes, Remick, the main character, the vampire, the main character, it's Irish, a vampire. And what he's doing to try to create community is by taking. And we see examples of that all around us, and how oftentimes that's what happens. So I asked you, I noticed also in the Black community itself, just started looking at that, what kind of tensions do you see between, well, or within that Black community?
Tensions.
Yes.
Money was one.
Okay, say more about that.
Stack didn't want to accept the money that the slaves were giving them when it was time for the sharecropper to pay. He didn't want to accept the token that they, Smoke was saying, man, they've been working so hard making that money and we can't even take it. Let them live a little bit, at least for the night. It's the grand opening.
Yes.
But then Stack was saying no. That ain't no money. That's not gonna get us rich.
Yeah.
And so later after church, we had a conversation about different forms of currency after the Salt and Light Truth Center with the Raw Life crew.
Good.
Shout out.
Very good.
So,
Yeah, that's absolutely one of them. Is the currency that, because they're deep south Mississippi, so that Confederate currency is still circulating, and it's obviously a way for them to continue to keep their money, because even though we were not enslaved at the time, per se enslaved, we were still sharecroppers, as you say, and that money that we are earning is just going right back to the hands of our previous slave owners. Anyone else want to comment on that?
Yeah, Rennick had gold coins. Rennick had gold coins, and when he said he wanted to play with them and come in, he said, "I have money," but it was a real old gold coin. So
Yes. Very good.
it looked weird though. I wonder what type of coin was that?
His tender was actually superior. He had the superior tender.
What does that mean? Say that again. Tender.
He had the superior tender technically because he had which is like interesting because like the most evilest person had access to the real resources. He had actual gold coins. Like these weren't United States tenders. These were gold coins that you could go get appraised and you can get them. The gold holds value over time. So it's a form of currency. So that actually makes sense for the vampire to have it. But vampire actually had the best currency, and it was foreign to everyone as well. Raw material, raw gold.
Yeah, very good.
Where do you get that?
Yeah, because that says a lot about how the differences in those communities and how one set of people can have the best in the worldwide currency as opposed to another set who's still limited in terms of what they circulate. As we know, even now, our money stays in our community a lot less than it stays in other people's communities, and for sure that is by design. All right. So, what about the church? Do you see a tension between the church and any other entity in the movie without naming it?
The club in general.
Yeah, the juke joint. Yeah, you want to say more about the tension between the two, particularly as it relates to Black community?
Well, just they said that would if you keep hanging out at the juke joint, then it's gonna envelope you. It's gonna take over you. That's what they were trying to say.
Very good.
Keep hanging out with the devil. One day it's gonna follow you home. Dancing with the devil. That's what this scene. Yeah, that's what that was.
Yes, absolutely. And in the church, you are a community there, and oftentimes do we see the community in the church as a closed door place or open door place? And as you think about that, as you think about it, it's not a trick question. It's not a trick question. It's a reflection question. And as you think about it, relate that to the juke joint, particularly the one in the movie centers, and how is it a open door or closed door place?
Well, the juke joint was more of a. They wanted to be more of an open door, but they wanted to be more of an open door for profit, so that they can make money and show everybody a good time. The church is again supposed to be an open door to bring people closer to Christ. So yes, it's supposed to be an open door, but some of the people inside the church, they shun outside people that look a lot more different than them or act more different than they are. So it's supposed to be, all churches are supposed to be open, but once you just walk in and look a lot different, they keep eye on it.
How would you describe different in the church? What types of things would make someone be shunned for this in the church?
Well, a couple of different ways. If it's racial, you walk into an all-white congregation and you're a Black man, then yeah, they're gonna kind of question: Are you here? Are you sure you want to be here?
Sure you're in the right place.
Yeah, are you sure you're in the right place?
Okay.
And then also, if you are maybe on a monetarily, if you're on a lower economic straight, then just because you don't have a fancy suit to wear, that you just come in as you are, but you want a piece of the word, then you can be shunned again, just by what you look like, not even knowing your character or how you are, but just by what you look like, you can be shunned. So,
Yeah, that's very
or feared.
fear. Yes, fear is a good word, and that is what I was thinking in terms of the tensions within the Black community. But certainly, race-wise, if it's something obvious that we can see is different, that's a different scenario. But the tension within the Black community, even ourselves, we have that. And so there were some in the church. There are some in the church that we look suspect to, that are our own people. And then in the juke joint, we saw outsiders not being able to come in. Not just the Irish outsiders. After a while, some of the people that had been in there before couldn't even come back. So in those circumstances, that was still there's still that debate over whether or not to allow outsiders in, and how that tension plays out. Were you going to add to that?
I was saying it's a trick question because the church isn't open during the week typically, or it may be open, but there's nothing going on that helps people stay into the church for another 6 days, plus the seventh day you're only there for 2 hours sometimes. So how are the doors open when they kick you out any other time except for those 2 hours?
Okay. Yeah, that's one way to look at it. I would argue that some churches are open, not 24/7, but some churches have events or programs, studies going on all week long. Some, are just Sunday churches, or some are monthly churches even, not even every Sunday. So, in that regard, it is different in terms of what we can do to keep people in the church, or what we can do as a people to create space where people are welcome. It's particularly within our own community. Like, I do know some churches, one of the churches where I served in Fairburn, Georgia, had programs such as AA programs, Al-Anon. And so those were during the week, where actually outsiders, if you will, people that did not look like them, so people of any racial background, really, some may look like them, were welcome to come in.
Alcoholics Anonymous. Maybe you could say what it is.
Alcoholics Anonymous, yes, AA, Alcoholic Anonymous, thank you. And so we can create those kind of places where people are welcome even within the community. And in the juke joint, we saw outsiders, we saw that hesitancy of outsiders. What would you say about those type of internal divisions in a community in terms of external threats? And so we talked a little bit last time about these external threats that can occur.
So I brought it up with the drummers, and I was letting them know that businessmen, they have to put their mind on money. The bottom line is money. Money, money, money. But then for artists, musicians, for other forms of currency, you don't use coins. You don't use that coins. You have other forms of currency and value. But when you have those two mindsets, the balance, okay, do I stick on just drumming? Do I stick on just making music? Because then sometimes I'm not making as much tangible money, but do I stick on the money, and then I may be more intentional about it, but then you are running into the case of getting that bad money, that the vampire's money, the bad money, and turn into a vampire yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So that duality is difficult to live in, and it's almost like you got to be on either side. It's kind of difficult to just, but in the long run, Stack did bring up his mindset to not accept him being intentional on the money. And even while we were talking about it, we came to this conclusion that even when you were intentional about receiving money, good money, correct money, then he wasn't in the mindset of lack and of just taking anything. Nah, like, if it's not good, then I don't want it. It's something didn't feel right in his gut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good. And because James said something too about the outsiders, and well, it was about coming about the money that the juke joint is set up. Even though they want to create that community, they also want to make money. And the church, that is not to be their primary goal. But
Right.
oftentimes some people feel as though it is still set up as a business.
Right.
That if you have a little bit more means, then you may be more welcome into the congregation as opposed to someone that has a little less.
So maybe this is a good time to take a break real quick.
Okay.
We have some music that we want to show you all. We are in support of the Black Achievement Fund, and we definitely want you all to come together, which is why I wanted to bring in Drums, Drones, and Dreams. And we have a couple featured artists on Center Sunday. So today I wanted to welcome you into one of my productions with drumsanddrones.com, where I've been putting together drums and also drones, and also helping people with music and video production, which here is Logic Pro. And here's a song that I made right after watching the Sinners movie. So I had two songs that I made right after Sinners movie. And this one is more royal, and you'll hear that one in this. You'll hear that, you'll hear that right here. And then on the second one, it's that chaotic scene. I was thinking about the mixing of the energies and the mixing of all of the sounds. So here's the first one. So this is kind of like us being in flow with each other and going place to place, getting the musicians, and then we're riding in the car, you know, we're just flowing. It's just more royal, smoking stacks, just walk through the store just like royalty. But there's also that ominous sound. That's why I put this guitar in there, because it's real ominous a lot of times too. Like, oh no, something is happening. So that's kind of like, oh. So and then I put in a Sahai Life chorus to bring in. So that's the Atlanta in me.
That's community. That's community.
Sahai Life. Sahai Life. So high, so high, so high, so high, so high, so high, so high. So Sahai Life talks about the sun, living with the sun. So being one with the sun, and also having retreats that are bringing in good energy. And Sahai Life is an organization. We're actually doing the project. We have our food co-op project. So we're actually bringing in the food co-op project, and I'll play the second Sinner song next week. But that is the first song that I was working on right after watching the Sinners movie. And I left off this instrument, which brought in some of the second song. But I was like, okay, this sounds too crazy. Let me just make a whole nother song with the... Okay, so that was like the jazz part, where the jazz symbol, that's the language of jazz. Is that's the drummer's language right there. So I was like, okay, how could I put in some of that like swing, like we're swinging and still in that flow, but this one I was like, okay, it sounds better with that king royalty sound, and then with the chant. Of course, some people would think that it's just trap music or something. I can't really spell out, but it's TSEHIGH. So that's Sahai, and then life, LIFE. So that's the highlight. So that's what I was saying, and it was bringing in that positivity, like you say, it was bringing in the community, and that's bringing in my ATL over that just kind of royal flow that I was feeling. So
Yes.
so that's drums, drums, and dreams, and back to you.
All right, all right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was very good, and I appreciate the way you brought your community into your music and your ATLian self. ATL in Atlanta, or AKA LA, the other LA, lovely Atlanta. Yes, lovely Atlanta. So since you brought up the music and going back to that and that jazz sound, let's go back to Sammy's character and how he had some tension with his growing up in the church and playing in the church, but also being drawn to the blues music and the juke joint. What do you think about something that the Black Achievement Fund is also, I guess, is also cognizant of the journey that's reflected in generational conflicts over identity, and how may be the best way that we can achieve liberation or belonging. So we're always talking about that, and we're getting ready for Kwanzaa and pouring libations, and all the times when we remember our ancestors. There are generational conflicts, because in the film, we're back in the 30s, we know what happened before, we have privy to what's happened since. But what about those general conflicts that occur?
Yeah, at the store, there was a comment made by one of the Asian owners of the store, and they said it was when the dad told the young girl to go across the street and go get her mom so they could talk business. And one of, I think it was the young girl that said, I liked it more when it was us on one side of the street, and it was alluding to the blacks, or maybe they started out as a white only store or something, and then went to blacks and whites, so they had to have two stores. It was something. It alluded to something like that, saying, "Ah, man, I wish we were just on one side of the road." It's how I heard it. So there was something like, "Oh, I wish I didn't have to walk over it all the time just to go get my mom."
Yeah, yeah.
So the generation is like, oh, he's like used to it being one way. He's used to just sending off his daughter to go across the street. But the daughter knows that something's not right with them having two stores right across the street.
Right, right. And how that affects her as a person, and what she sees in community, and being able to know the difference, that there is a difference between one side of the street and the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we're noticing in her community, that would be the shop owners of Asian descent, that they are bringing their young people to work. to work in their stores that they own, so that as time goes on, they can continue being store owners or entrepreneurs and not have to work for someone else, be able to work for their own, whether it's either side of the street. And I don't know about you all, but I can think of some Asian communities right now that continue to be in our community and collect our money. You all think of some industries maybe, or some shops that have that?
All of the gas stations.
A lot of the gas stations.
Yeah, the gas stations.
That was kind of interesting because one time I went to a gas station and I noticed the people there, and I was like, do y'all eat pork? They were like, no, we don't eat pork. I was like, would you sell pork? I had a black guy working there, and his job was to put the pork up. They wouldn't touch it.
Oh,
Wow. That's
they
crazy.
wouldn't touch it.
They wouldn't touch it.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So they sell it. They don't mind killing you, but they don't want to. They don't mind you getting sick, but they don't want to touch it.
They don't even touch it.
Or you know, you can look at it in a different way, that they're respecting the cultures in which they're taking money from. Perhaps.
Gas stations, they'll sell you something expired for sure.
Yeah, that happens. And also, there are nail shops. Lots of nail shops, beauty products, beauty supply stores that have that are happy to take our money, and that will have all types of hair, whatever you want to purchase. They're not using or consuming any of that. They are perfectly comfortable in their skin, but don't mind if you want to put on extra eyelashes or change your eye color or any of the extra beauty items, of which we don't mind spending all our money on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy because like a plumber will fix his own house. A plumber will fix his own house. A chef will eat their own food. You know, long hair people, they'll cut their own grass.
Right.
They won't participate in the same things that we participate. Which pretty much just lets us know they're here not to be a part of our community. Because then the other part is where they set up these shops where they're selling this stuff, they don't live anywhere even close to it.
Right. They don't live or support anything that's in the neighborhood.
If their daughters came home with any of that stuff on, it'd probably be, you know, probably wouldn't be something fun to talk about, you know, with that. So, and
Right. Just twerking and stuff.
or just the crazy lashes and the
Yeah.
crazy long nails.
Oh,
With
we.
the charms and the crazy makeup.
They
and,
care.
Yeah.
they use some of the stuff. They just don't use the stuff that we use. Like the Asians, they'll use like the infrared mask to sleep with. They'll use stuff like that, or they'll use like a back massager or like a roller. But they're not. Which shows us like when they're inside of our communities, they're here to sell us stuff. That's what they're here for. They're not here to participate in community with us. They're here to provide something they know they can make a profit off of and sell us to us cheap. They don't care about the repercussions. Like some of us will say that we don't support certain things within our community, but what we've also been shown is with moral versus legal. If it's legal for them to sell poison to us, they're not gonna say, "Hey, this isn't morally correct for us to be doing." They're just like, "No, well, if it means I can make some money, I'll, you know."
Yeah.
There's good money and bad money, you know, like we were talking about earlier.
Right.
Actually. Also, K-pop music has a lot of hip hop, and they'll take from us, but then they're not giving back to us or crediting us. And boy bands like the Temptations was on the way here, like That's where that came from Boys the Men,
R&B.
Boys the Men, yeah, R&B. That's where K-pop gets its whole rhythms and ideas. All their moves are all black people's moves. It's all R&B, popping,
Yes.
Michael Jackson type of hitting it.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the whole kind of idea that Remick wanted when trying to was being attracted to Sammy's music and how that is able to you're then able to use it for your own. So we've talked before about that type of there's a word besides stealing that I'm looking for when they call it with music, but they actually try to use that same thing but call it something else. Like we're having our own rhythm and blues, but Elvis can put it out and it would be acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas before they would say that a band is not does not have a wide appeal, so they have to change it to maybe even a more bluegrassy feel to make it acceptable across the board. That's how they used to look at that. But there's also when we're talking about the music with Sammy, he also had that internal conflict as well with his passion between his tradition, his faith, which he grew up with, and his passion, and wanting to create a type of music that is different than what he has been exposed to in the church. So that individual desire is oftentimes in conflict with the collective needs. So what do you think about Sammy's tension or his choice of what he had to choose for? Have you ever experienced in a case where tradition says I should do this, but I'm more passionate about that?
I think it has to do with what the outcome is after you play or after you get into a heightened musical experience. Not even after, during. While you're doing it, you can feel the feedback from other people. So what I'm leading to is that in this scene, Remick, he's serenading her, and they're looking to have her get sucked into a negative place, like get sucked into death. But and his mouth starts watering. His mouth starts watering when he's getting closer, like looking at her neck, because he's just serenading her to devour her.
Mm-hmm.
And they say in church that Satan's here to steal, kill, and destroy.
Yes.
But then with Sammy, he brought the roof down. You know, he let people know that you can dance and you can have a good time. And you know, he was telling his story. Like during this scene, he was telling his story. He started out with, my name's Sammy, but some people call me Preacher's Boy, because that's who I am. And he was saying, he was just giving more positivity, as opposed to, it started out slow and serenading, and then it ended out with the roof burning down, and everybody's just having this amazing dancing experience. Or even at the train stop, like this scene.
Yes.
Look at how beautiful that looks. Everybody's smiling, everybody's having a good old time, leaning in closer, like, man, what that boy doing? And I thought just came to my mind, other people are leaning into him
Yes.
as opposed to the other side, Remick was leaning into the girl to get her neck, to change her into something else. But when you're confident about who you are and you know that you're doing positive and you know that you're bringing love, you don't even have to try hard. People are attracted to you, and they brought a crowd standing in one place. They didn't go out and they didn't go far. They went right where the guy said that he plays every single day, and they brought a crowd as opposed to going out and creating destruction.
Yes. That's good definitely good to see and to notice that is happening. Because I even looking in that scene at how they were dressed as though they could have been going to church as well. And so a lot of times we see that crossover, and we have some passions oftentimes that may be different than the ones that we have been, I guess, for lack of a better word, geared toward, that have been trying to tell us kind of what might be what we should be doing. So so now
I think to y'all's point, with him growing up inside of the church, he was kind of like given a role, given a person to be,
yes,
and maybe when Stack and his brother came back, it presented an opportunity for himself to make music that he wanted to make, because probably every time he wanted to, like, he might have played music at church, like, but he never got to play the music that he wanted to express in the way that he wanted to express. Everything was always handed to him, showing him, like, this is what you're going to play, this is what you're going to do, this is what it's going to sound like. So this was his opportunity to, he said, they call him Preacher's Boy. He's actually Preacher's Boy.
right.
During the movie, he got a chance to be seen. He got a chance to be seen. He got a chance to be a person other than who he was known to be within the congregation. He got a chance to be his own person. So.
Yeah, very good. So that's some of that liberation, how you are free to allow your own creativity, your own expressions to dominate your life. And really, we saw in the movie too that one of the twins, and I can't remember which one of the twins were encouraging Sammy to stay in the church, put their guitar down. The other one, also saying, you got something here. You should continue to follow your passion. We see that oftentimes growing up with children, that you might like something. I'll use an example. My grandchild has, I have 3 of them, but their mother is a nail technician. So they get really excited about doing nails and having their fingernails looking all pretty, even at 5 years old. And so it may steer them toward maybe wanting to be a cosmetologist or something one day. But they're also like leaves and science. And so if you gear them toward just one avenue, it may not be the one that they're most passionate about later on. And that's kind of what we see in Sammy, that yes, he enjoys the music and play the church music, I'm sure, just fine, but then you get a situation where you're drawn toward a different type of music, and are you able to express that? We saw that also with the generations before us. We talk about generational concerns, that how a lot of at least for myself, a lot of my family are educators. So as educators, I then could easily have fallen into that category of being an educator as well. And I was kind of like Sammy in that I did not want to claim that. And so I I veered away from it, but life took me right back to it, so that I am just an educator. Even if I don't want to be, I have to call myself that because that's what I have done all my life, and continue to do that in terms of inspiring people and wanting people to learn. And yeah,
I guess not always in. I guess. To your point, I feel like there's like an educator in the classical sense, in the traditional sense, and then we also have the educator who are not as traditional. So I feel like you would try the traditional route, which I feel like is kind of like pretty normal. Like if you come up in a family, like if everybody plays sports, it's kind of normal. If you play sports, you go on those things. So, but I also feel like you stepped out a little bit and you got to educate from your own perspective, not just what a particular system was telling you and instructing you on what to teach. You also had opportunities to teach freely. I think that was important as well.
Yes, thank you. Yes, I am a bit like Sammy in that regard. I'm gonna bulk systems. I don't like systems because they keep you in a box. And I think a lot of times that we are stifled when we get inside that box, that we are not able to freely express ourselves as much as we could or that we'd like to. So certainly, you're spot on in the sense that yes, I did try the system route, and I enjoy teaching in different forms in different places. Even as we talk about Sammy with the music, and being in church and having to play a certain rhythm at a certain time in a certain way, and we continue to see churches often operating in that vein, and different types of churches. You can almost pinpoint the types of music that they're playing, even calling it all gospel music. Some being a lot more freer in terms of the rhythms that they're playing, and some a lot stricter in terms of the rhythms that they play.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we talked about this at a little bit of that at church too today, and the difference between having a gift and talents and having that balance with the divine masculine and feminine and whatnot, and but specifically with the gifts and talents, when you have a God-given gift, he was saying you have one big gift, one God-given gift, but then you may have a lot of talents. You may be talented in a lot of different things, but when he was saying that the gifts are for God and those talents are to help some of the things while on earth, but to know in discernment when to be focused on the gift and your purpose. That's what it was. It was the purpose. And with Brother Sincere, he was speaking big facts, and with the gift versus purpose. So
Yes.
knowing that okay, so if drumming is a part of my gift, and if I'm in tune with my gift, then it's with my purpose. But when our environment, he was saying that some of these people, how can we even connect with people who don't understand that, who aren't even able to receive your gift, or aren't even able to receive your talents. Let me put it that way. Aren't able to receive some of those talents. How do you, like, they might have lost their mind, might have lost this person, they might have been in jail, but your gift is from God. It's a God-given gift that is pushing you to live your purpose through your gift.
Yes.
And speaking of, it's getting close to our hour,
Yes.
and it'd be great to show 9 before we leave, but
Yes.
any last advice?
Yeah,
Points that we should know.
it's important with our communities as we create them and continue to create community here at the Black Achievement Fund and in the Kennett Club, that we do so through dialogue, not through dictation, so much like smoke and stack and then negotiating as opposed to rhetoric and I'm gonna get you and knowing how to manipulate and just that idea that it's a group effort, that all are equal and equally trying to improve, equally trying to make a difference in the world, as you say, use their gift and follow their dreams and their purpose as God intended.
Ashe. So Nine, do you want to explain pushing through to the community as we play while we play your song?
So, Pushing Through was a song that I made because I was locked up. And, when I got free, I was working with a late friend of mine who transitioned last year. He was a very well-known car mechanic, and he worked on custom cars. He showed me how to work on cars, and showed me how to put vertical doors on cars, and because of him, I was able to come around some very nice cars I probably wouldn't even get close to if it wasn't for him. But one day I was free, and he was moving some stuff across Georgia, and during that time period, I had just finished making that beat, and it sounded a lot different when I first made it. But he was there with me, and he was like, "Man, it sounds good." I was like, "You think so?" He's like, "Yeah, it sounds good." And I was like, "Okay, let me add some more to it." So I started adding more to it. I wrote a verse, I wrote a hook, and I recorded it. And the first version that I did was at a friend of mine's house. And the original version, he was playing Xbox Call of Duty. So on the original version, you could hear like gunshots and bombs dropping in the background. And I went back when I was getting ready to release the project, Film Volume 2. I'm gonna flip out. But when I was getting ready to release the project, I was in a space where I was listening to it and I was like, "Nah, I can't put this out there. Like, as good as it is, I feel like I can do better." So I dug deeper and we recorded that last verse. I added some drum bass to it, and he transitioned a few years ago. And in the first song it says, "SRT doing 180, 85 South, and I'm just cruising." I was coming from Gwinnett, and I was in a Chrysler. I forget what it was. It was like a Chrysler, but it had a V8 engine inside of it. I hit the gas pedal. I said, "Ooh," I was like, "Yo, 85."
Challengers, the SRTs, I think those are the Chargers.
It was a Chrysler, but it had a super engine inside of it. It had a super engine.
Challengers, I think. Well, I don't know.
It had a V8.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're right. I think it might have been a Challenger. I think they had the SRT inside of it.
Well,
Chargers. So
It's here.
8 o'clock.
Let's
Yeah.
It's here.
SRT doing 180, 85 South, and I'm just cruising. Hit the curve and I slide with ease. One tap, I make a skirt, ain't no losing. Tell me what it mean to be free when the police tryna hunt and kill me. Tell my mama I'm a slime before we get the chance to play. The chance to think that he can lay a finger on me. Black God of the flesh, me I pale in comparison. Pour libations for conquer nation. New delegation, this the liberation of conquer nation. New federation, all once outdated. Pride said we made it, and I'm faded.
right, that's it. Y'all gotta come in person to hear more. Y'all gotta come in person.